This is totally fair, and I've said it a few times at this point. If there is anything that I, a Rhysand slanderer, do not blame him for, it is his behavior under the mountain. The fact that, like, he painted her to make sure that nobody touched her inappropriately, that was a smart way to try to mitigate the bullshit of Amarantha, to try and keep Feyre safe as much as he could with what limited power that he had at his disposal. Putting that aside, though, this is still an incredibly traumatizing thing to have happen, because even though we know now, and Rhysand knows why he's having Feyre painted, it's still an incredibly traumatizing thing for Feyre to go through. And then Akamath in chapter 54, in Rhysand's "This is why I'm not a douchebag" speech, and at that point it's fine. We never address it again. Feyre's no longer traumatized by this. We even go so far as to have their mating bond get solidified while they are covered in paint and all that. So it's kind of like he's like the paint is being recontextualized before Feyre, before our eyes. And as much as I get the on paper symbolism of that, it's like, that's not how trauma works. You know what this is giving? I'm so sorry, y'all. This is giving when, during Hunting Adeline, when Adeline has all these horrible, horrific, terrible things happen to her in the first half of Hunting Adeline, and Zayd decides, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna fuck her trauma right out of her. Like, did she have a lot of bad things done to her with knives? I'm going to eroticize that trauma and do the knife stuff. Because, and while yes, this is a much tamer version of that, and I would argue that this came first. I don't know when Hunting Adeline came out, and I don't care to find out. But it's almost like Feyre finding out Rhysand's reasons, her trauma is just gone now, and like she doesn't have to still work through all of that stuff that happened under the mountain, which Rhysand is a part of. And I get that they could have that conversation together, but we never see that happen, really. And it's disappointing, because I would have loved to see them work through their trauma from under the mountain together for what he did to her, what was done to both of them. There's a huge plot line there, and it's just left on the table. We're just going to, oh no, they're just going to bang in the paint, and now she's healed. And then the Illyrian men using their dicks to fuck the trauma out of their women the theme continues in Akasif. It's very frustrating to, now that, like, I'm thinking about it, your comment honestly it really solidified the whole, a huge theme in these books is having the trauma fucked out of you. And I don't want to see that for Elaine. Like, especially because Asriel is probably more traumatized than Elaine is. So I would hate to see the Elriel story of ACOTAR 6 be reduced to they boink the trauma out of each other until the trauma is gone. It would just be very annoying, especially because Elaine and Asriel both have very different trauma that does need to really be explored. If Asriel's internalized racism against his Illyrian heritage is fucked out of him by Elaine's magic seer vagina, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I would be so happy that we got the Elriel book, but the victory would be so Pyrrhic, it would be ashes in my mouth. Like, oh, I'm getting mad about a book that doesn't exist. Like, I really hope that this doesn't happen, y'all. I really hope that the buck of banging to relieve trauma stops at Elriel.